It's time for another game episode. Today, we have 5 no prep games for your youth group that you can play this week.
This is the Ministry Coach Podcast. My name is Jeff Lascola. This is
Kristen Lascola.
And today we're going to go over that moment when you're at youth group and you think, I've got it all taken care of. My sermon is ready to go. I'm ready to rock. I have no game. We're going over 5 no prep, maybe slight prep games today, right?
Right. So these ones I can do in a pinch on the fly with whatever I have around. And we're going to teach you how to do the same thing because as youth pastors, we need a lot of games.
Yeah.
Now, the games we're going to go over today are usually games that I would probably play on a Sunday rather than a Tuesday night, but they work for either one for midweek or weekend program. Or I love to do games with my student leadership team at our student leadership meetings. We meet once a month. I always need a game for that. And these would be great games for that. The only reason I say for me, they're more of a weekend game rather than a midweek game is because we have 3 services that the kids are split up pretty evenly into a smaller group instead of the big whole group all at the same time. That's the only reason why. So if you have a smaller group midweek, go for it. It would totally work. So let's get into it.
Let's go. Number 1.
And we're going to save my favorite one to the end.
Oh, a little teaser.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1, this is a game I learned from my intern that he used to play at camp because he was in camp ministry for a while. And it was called Psychiatrist. And I think I've heard of it before he taught it to me, but I had never played it. And the kids loved it. It was a big hit. So here's how you play Psychiatrist. You pick one person from the group to be the psychiatrist, and they go out of the room for a little bit. And while they're out there, everyone agrees on what their ailment/symptom is going to be. And it's one for the whole group. Okay. So it's like not everybody gets to pick their own illness. That would be way too hard. So it's one for the whole group. So, for example, you guys might decide every time the psychiatrist touches their hair, we all clear our throat. Or every time the psychiatrist says, "What?" we uncross our legs and cross them the other way, or we fold our arms. And so then you bring the psychiatrist back in and they get on the stage and they just start observing people. And then we just stare at them and it's awkward. But then they start getting all weird, like, you guys, like, and then they'll do something, touch their hair, and then, and so it sounds like, well, yeah, I would notice that right away. They don't. Like, it's amazing, like, because they don't realize they touched their hair. They don't realize they said, okay. They don't realize they said, you guys, or laughed. They're not picking up on their own mannerisms.
Yeah, because it could be something they say, it could be something they do, like put their hand in their pocket, you say it. You wouldn't notice all those things, especially when you're upstairs, up on stage, kind of nervous too. Exactly. It's like you're not really focusing on every little mannerism you're doing. Well,
and they're focused on the audience's mannerisms, not their own. So this game...
But you do explain to them, though. Okay, it's based off of what they are doing.
Well, not necessarily. Oh, okay. You kind of just say, like, you have to diagnose what is wrong with us. So the first couple of people that go, that's the hardest. But then it gets in a rhythm and people are starting to catch on, like, okay, when I do this, you do that. Or you could think way outside the box, on that. But I would say this game is fun for about 4 or 5 rounds. Okay. And then it's like people start picking up too quickly. And then you can shelf the game for a little bit and then bring it back a few months later. But we played it on a Sunday a couple months ago and the kids loved it. Everyone, of course, wanted to be the psychiatrist and we had a good time. And it's fun as the audience watching them squirm and try to figure it out. And everyone gets all giggly and it's super fun. All right. So that's psychiatrist.
Number 2.
And
actually, pause for a second. If you want the PDF of the game instructions for these games, email us at ministrycoachpodcast@gmail.com.
We're so generous.
And we'll send that over to you so you always have them available.
You do that. That's nice.
You're
of you.
welcome.
Wow. Hey, round of applause for Jeff. That's very nice.
All
you
right.
don't have to do that.
Number 2.
Okay, number 2. I learned this game in college, actually. And they say like older kids don't want to play games. Well, I was in the college group at our church. And I remember the first time I showed up for some like leader thing, we played this game and I've used it ever since.
You're kind of a competitive game psycho though. So
I was wondering what word you were going to use there.
You're going to be at like an elderly home, like competitive bingo or something.
That is actually not that far off. So can I tell a quick story? I tried to plan a service project at an elderly home in our town.
And that you got kicked out for being too competitive.
Shut up. And I asked the lady in charge of the events, I said, can I plan a bingo? Because I have a little bingo set.
Oh, you said they get too competitive.
Yes, I said, I'll bring my bingo set. We'll run a bingo game for them. It'll be so fun. And she goes, actually, we can't play bingo with the residents anymore because they just get too
fisticuffs,
competitive, and it gets really ugly and people get really mad.
There you go.
I'm like, what? I think there's some new like zombie bingo show on TV. It's like probably what it's based off of. Anyways, so there I am in college. Rewind. There I am. We're playing a super fun game. Changed my life. I'm talking about it years later. So everybody gets in a circle and everyone tells the group what animal they are. You can pick any animal you want. Of course, I'm going to be a wiener dog. That's my thing every time.
What's the name of this?
Oh, sorry. Did we not say that?
No.
Animal concentration.
Okay.
All right. Animal concentration. So everyone has their animal, and you might need to go around the circle a couple of times to tell everyone so that they remember, because the game kind of hinges on you knowing what other people's animals are. What animal are you, Jeff?
Tiger.
Of course.
Of course.
Tiger, because he likes the Bengals.
Woo!
They won this weekend.
Win. Can't say that very often, but they did.
Congratulations to you and your team. So, I'm wiener dog. You're, should I say dachshund? People don't ever know what that is. Wiener dog.
Tiger.
You're tiger. Everyone has their animal. Well, then one person goes in the middle and they have something that they can hit people with. So that's why this is kind of a low prep.
Axe, nunchuck, sword.
I like to use a pool noodle.
Or that.
If you're out and about and you don't have a pool noodle, feel free to grab, if someone has a really long sock, you could like whip someone with it. Maybe
just a jacket even or something.
A jacket. Or like, what if you found like a big long reed and you pulled it, you uprooted it and you used that? I mean, you could get creative. Or I guess you could just tag them if you absolutely have no supplies. If we're on a deserted ministry island and you have no supplies, you could tag them. So anyways, I've used a rolled up newspaper before. Pool noodle is my favorite, but use what you have. Maybe your hand. That's fine. So person in the middle, their job is to be super quick and remember people's animals. So for example, I might start and I'd say wiener dog wants tiger. And so the person in the middle would have to hit tiger before tiger could say, tiger wants narwhal. And then the person in the middle has to run, who's narwhal? And then they have to hit narwhal before narwhal can say, narwhal wants panda. And so if they're able to hit panda before panda can say panda wants spider monkey, then panda is in the middle. And then the person who was the previous in the middler joins the group and we start all over. So
I've played this game. It gives me anxiety. It is fun.
It's hard to think and say animals quickly when someone's charging you. Right. And that's where the fun comes in.
And then the other thing is you can't say the name of the animal that
right next to you.
Okay.
So you can't say the person right next to you and you can't throw it back. So you could
wiener
say
dog wants tiger dog wants wiener dog. Okay, no.
Right. Also, you cannot say the person in the middle. So sometimes you just know there's a alligator and it's like, oh shoot, that's you. Then you're out. So it's one of those games that doesn't have a definite end. So what I like to do for those kinds of games is just play enough rounds while people are having fun. And then when you notice the energy is gone or you're out of time, end it and just say, if there was anyone who played who never was in the middle, you get a piece of candy or something like that. So at least there's some incentive to win. That is coming from a person who likes to win. So it's important to me.
There needs to be an end.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, well, what am I winning? Is this a prize? I want a prize. So anyways, so that's animal concentration. Super fun. All right. This one is called Bun Shuffle or Shuffle Your Buns.
Big difference.
It's well, the reason I'm laughing is because last time my intern made a game slide graphic for this game, he used a picture of, you know, when dogs like scoot on the ground.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I never thought of that. I usually found this picture of this kid who uses buns, like hamburger buns to make muscles on his body.
That's awesome.
And he's flexing. That's usually my go-to. Simple Google image search will do. Anyways, be careful with that one.
Yeah, really.
But anyways, my safe search is on. So here's how it works. It's a circle of chairs. We got a lot of circles in these games. And someone's in the middle. But you remove one chair. And when the music starts, everyone has to shuffle your buns.
Wait, sorry. So you remove one chair. It's actually
Whoa,
right at the pinnacle.
That was a buzzkill.
Is there an empty chair?
Yeah. Oh, I said remove a chair.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's an empty chair.
Okay, so the person in the middle, everyone has a seat.
Yes.
Person in the middle gets up, so there is one empty chair. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so glad you're listening. It's so rare.
I usually don't listen.
I was going to say, good thing tonight. Thank you, Lord. So yeah, that person leaves their chair empty. So then the music starts and everyone shuffles to the next chair, but everyone has to go the same direction. So everyone goes clockwise and has to sit in the next chair, and they're constantly moving. If you want a quad workout, holy moly, they will burn so bad by the end of this game. Sometimes I'm like, all right, guys, gotta take a breather. I can't keep up. So the person in the middle, it's constantly trying to sit down.
Yeah.
So if you were the person who was supposed to move into that chair, because we're all going one direction. So if you were going to your left and you missed it and that person got there, now you're out. You're in the middle. Now, what I like to do to spice it up a bit is every couple of rounds, I put in another empty chair. So that people have to move quicker, because it's so hard to get that empty chair when you're in the middle. If there's only one, I've had to push people out of the way, like full contact, like move and scream at them to disorient them. And then I get in the chair. But when you keep adding other chairs, now it gets harder for the people sitting. And so it's just a fun dynamic to keep it a little bit fun and fresh.
So you said music playing. There's really it's not like the music stops and whatever. It's just more the ambiance.
Yeah, because it would just... Have you seen those videos when they take away the music of the bands and it's just like people snapping and like their shoes are squeaking? That's what it feels like.
Music
to
always
me
makes it more fun.
When there's no music in a game, it's just like...
This one gets kind of wild, so people would probably be yelling and hooting and hollering and screaming.
Pushing and shoving, and that's me.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what? They dish it, and it's survival. I dish it back. I'm like, don't mess with me.
We'll see how that holds up in the court of law. All right.
I can see the headlines now.
Youth pastor beats a child with a reed.
Famous. I knew that'd come back to haunt me. I think they used to really use those in the olden days.
A switch, they would call them.
The witch with the switch. That will be the headline. Okay.
All right, number 4, or was that number...
That was number 3. So this is number 4. Okay. Speaking of intense, this one is so fun. It is so intense. Okay. This one's called Head, Shoulders, Knees, Cup. You didn't see that coming, did you? Okay. Say I always have cups around because I just run into the cafe.
Well,
I open the cupboards.
Those
and
are the
I take
things
their
that the kids need to throw away in mid-sermon. So they have to have a cup because otherwise they wouldn't have anything to get up and
Do you want to know what they did
away.
this past Sunday? True story. During Caleb's message, 3 boys got 2 cups, one with water, one empty. During his message, just poured the water from one cup into the empty cup. Just kept pouring it back and forth.
Was it like
an experiment?
A sermon illustration?
No, they just are obsessed with finding anything to distract themselves. So I took him away. Well, then the kid next to it took his cup and was peeling it piece by piece so that it turned into this fan flower thing. And I'm like, can I have your cup, please? Because it was just crinkling the whole time.
Give them all empty water bottles and no one will have a problem.
Right. You're joking, aren't you?
I am joking.
Good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So head, shoulders, knees, cup. Say you're out in a deserted island and you have no cups. Then use a shell, use a pine cone, use a shoe,
Just
whatever.
Something to grab.
Yeah. Cups. That's what we use. It's a lot of fun. They're easy to grab. But anyways, so everyone in the room gets a partner. So you face off. And this isn't going to be your partner for the game. I have to explain that to them because they feel like they're making some commitment. Like, I don't want to be with them. I'm like, literally, you're going to be with them for 4 seconds. And then you're going to move on. It's like speed dating. And then it gets even more awkward when I say that. Anyways, so you and I were standing and we're facing each other. And we put a cup on the floor in between us. And let's say we're about, I don't know, we're pretty close. We're not that far apart.
Game.
Like
I've heard many things about it, but I've never played it.
So then there's an MC.
You're a foot apart, so you're really close.
Really close.
Okay.
Yeah. So now my kids, I have to give them rules with like, you can't squat. Okay. You need to stand because they want to be as close to that cup as possible.
Okay.
So they'll like use every muscle in their body to squat as close to the cup. I said, you have to stay standing. And then we start. And so the MC has the microphone. You have to be loud so everyone can hear you or just shout really loud. And they start giving commands. And whatever command they give, that's where you have to put your hands. So head, shoulders, knees, head, knees, shoulders, knees, cup. And when you hear cup, you have to grab the cup. And if you're the first one to get it out of your little duo, you move on to round number 2 and the other person is out with you.
I'm going to say they have to be a little further than a foot apart because I feel like if you both bend down to touch your knees, you're going to conk heads.
Hey, well, if you saw us play, we're pretty dang close together. But
what's like that?
Probably accurate.
What? Okay.
Jeff, it's a very intense game. We never knock heads. And so the person who grabs the cup then goes and finds a new partner for round number 2. The other person leaves and then it gets smaller and smaller until it's 2 people left. And then obviously whoever gets the cup wins. I won once. And then I've come very close a couple times, but I like every time.
Did you or did you not shout?
Okay, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say every time, not just me, every time that cup gets grabbed, you just hear half the room go, yeah, like just so intense. It's because it's your nerves are like,
yeah.
When are they going to say cup?
Obviously, if you grab it before it actually gets called, you're just out, eliminated immediately.
That's up to you if you want to play hardcore, but
How serious do you take your youth ministry games? How hardcore are you? All right,
okay, this is number 5.
And this is your favorite.
It was a toss-up because head, shoulders, knees, and cup
Knees
is
and
really
cup.
fun. And so I almost made that my favorite. But make this your favorite. Number 5 is my number 1 favorite. It's called Ultimate Hot Potato. My voice cracked. That's why I work with junior hires.
Right?
It's a safe place. We all crack sometimes. Okay, so guess what? You put all the chairs in a circle. Creative. If you don't have chairs, you could stand in a circle. That's fine. Basically, people need to be in a circle. So you put a basket in the center I love those little Dollar Tree easy little baskets. And then there's 2 items that start. So maybe you are on one side of the circle, I'm on the other, and we're both holding a ball. It could be as simple as that, but the balls need to look different. They could be a different color, different shape or size, whatever. You can also use, like, you can make it a holiday themed one. You could actually use potatoes, I guess, if you wanted, if they look different. But I did it for Easter and I used 2 stuffed animal bunnies. Or Halloween, 2 different pumpkins or whatever it might be. So the music starts and we start passing the item. Okay. So it's going around the circle clockwise. Music stops. 2 people have the item. They have to run to the middle and put their item in the basket before the other person does it. If they are successful, they stick around. If not, they are gone and the circle gets smaller.
Did you say different items? Not different items, but
they
different
just have to look different so
you
that
can
you
tell
know
which one went in
exactly.
first. Okay, I didn't
so like a
understand
pink bunny and a blue bunny, or a red ball and a soccer ball. Yeah. I don't know. But here's where it gets a little strategic. So I tell the students, sometimes they want to like shoot it from where they sit because they're like, oh, because you want to make the circle big so that they have to run to the basket. Like if they could just like reach and put it in, it's super dumb. So make the circle big enough to where they have to run, but sometimes they're tempted and they want to like Kobe into it. But guess what? That backfires quite often because sometimes it'll bounce out or it'll knock the basket over and then their ball will roll out or the bunny will come out or whatever. And then now they have to get up from their seat and run and put theirs back in. And the other person might already have been there. Yeah. So I said, check your skills because if you know you might not make it in, you're better off just running and getting to it.
Is that kind of why you use a basket? Because it can get knocked over? So that you could use a trash can, but that's not going to get knocked over.
But the more flimsy baskets actually add a lot of drama to the game because...
So depending on how hardcore you guys are...
Whoa, games. That's shock and raw. Well, yeah, because a lot of times their ball will just bounce right out and then they have to go. Like it has to stay in there. So the first person to get it in and it stays in, because the round has taken a turn many times when someone gets it in there, but they're so hard that it flies out or whatever. So they have to redo it. But basically, if it's there and it stays, they win the round. This game is so fun. And again, it has that little bit of intensity. It's elimination. So there will be a winner. When you get down to 2 people, obviously it's like, what are we doing? Passing something back and forth, like weird. So what I like to do for that is just, have them toss the thing back and forth to give them something to do, but move the basket far away. And then it basically comes down to a race of like whoever runs to the basket and gets their thing in first wins.
So or you could just throwing it back and forth simultaneously, like
like just
because they both have to have something.
Exactly.
Okay.
But instead of just putting the thing in between them, we'll just like put it on the stage or like way far away. And then it at least is entertaining for everyone to watch. Or if it gets down to 2 people, you could just say, you're both the winners, which is less exciting, but it kind of gets weird at the bottom too. So you can do whatever you want for that. And that is Ultimate Hot Potato, my favorite. I've even gone to Dollar Tree and gotten little leprechauns, played it for St. Patrick's Day. It fits for any holiday.
So there you go, 5 no prep / very low prep games. If this is the first time watching on YouTube, welcome. You can also check out our podcast and listen to it while you're on the go. Something we like to do at the end of episodes is, number 1, we do a question of the day. Why are you laughing?
Because I know the question of the day and I know why you're asking it.
And we also do a community comment, and both are going to be really good this time around.
Wow, you said community comment.
Yeah.
You usually say review. Community comment sounds so...
It was alliteration.
Gen Z or something.
You know me. the question of the day is, this is totally based off of you.
I know. That's why I was laughing. So why don't you just answer for me?
Okay. I probably would be better to answer this. Question of the day is, how many times do you hit the snooze button?
This is passive aggressive.
No, why? It's okay that you hit it like 40 times.
That's an exaggeration. Do you want a real answer, or do you want
what's on average? And you guys put your answer in the comments.
I'm sleeping.
She sleeps through
How
them.
would I know?
How many times on average would you say?
Jeff, that is very hard to answer because I am asleep. How would I know how many times I'm hitting it?
Here's how you do it. Because the standard snooze alarm is 9 minutes.
Oh.
When do you originally... What is that face?
That's what you did.
No, I did not.
Yes.
When do you originally set your alarm versus when you actually get up and divide it by 9?
Oh, that's easy. Did only a couple times.
No, it's not.
Okay, fine. Like 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you ever get up on 1?
No, that wasn't the question.
I'm just... okay, average would mean sometimes maybe you get up on 1, because I certainly know sometimes you get up on 8.
I would say about 4 times.
Okay.
It's really hard because I know this is the most comfortable I'll be all day. And I don't want to give that up.
That's 36 minutes of your snooze alarm going off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mine would be 1.
Okay. So the reason I asked this question is because
like I'm so much better than you.
I just wanted the world to know I'm more disciplined.
I will do it the one time because it's like, okay, that was it. Preparation for getting up. Sometimes I don't. I wake up even before that one goes off. But
what a champ. How about I write the question next week?
Okay. I'd love for that.
I would love that.
No, I love it.
How many grams of fiber do you eat in a day?
Not as much as you. That's for sure. All right, this is the community comment of the day. This is a really good one. Okay. This came from our YouTube episode, which was all about finding motivation during frustrating times. And this comes
every day.
Yeah. This comes from Kevin Talby. I hope I pronounced your name right.
I like that last name.
Talby.
I think it should be Be-Tall.
Like a beetle or
no, be
like
tall.
Be tall, everybody. Kevin Talby. And he says, hey, I just wanted to say thank you for every episode y'all have made. I'm going to say y'all. I don't normally say y'all, so it might not sound authentic, but I'm going to read it and I'm going to try to y'all.
I thought it was cute when you did it.
Okay. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for every episode y'all have made. I became a youth pastor 2 years ago at 18 years old as a fill-in without any training. This podcast has helped me become a better leader for the students and volunteers on my team. The tips y'all have given have literally saved my job.
Wow.
And have gotten me a 50% raise.
Wow. It's intense.
Thank you for taking time to share these tips. That's awesome.
Kevin. Well, you want to know what? That's the whole point.
Right.
So I'm glad the mission is accomplished.
Yeah. So starting this all out, it was basically, like you're saying, a mission to provide other youth pastors who don't have that coach in their life an opportunity to have access to coaching.
Yeah. I mean, I would have devoured this content when I was 20.
So you're paying it forward.
Well, yeah. And I would just say, man, they're going to be so much further ahead now. I feel like I learned slowly.
But you do, though, when you don't have somebody pouring into you and correcting you when you make those wrongs or answering those questions that maybe you're like, I don't know what to do in this situation. It's your growth is slow. That's just normal.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody there to help fast track that, then you can go so much further faster. That quote is someone says like, I can see for miles when I stand on the top of giants, on the shoulders of giants. I'm misquoting it, but it's true how it's like,
am I a giant?
I guess so. Giant pain in the butt. Yeah. No, so it's like when you do have the opportunity,
low-hanging fruit.
When you do have the opportunity to have people pave that way, for you or show you where to go, you can go so much further faster. It's like, it's not even funny. It's a little funny, I guess.
You made me laugh.
Hey, it's late. Thank you, Kevin, for commenting. That was awesome. Great to hear from you. And for any of the rest of you that want to leave a comment or review, we would love to hear from you. Until then, we will see you next time.